It's nice and it's hot today. Oh my goodness. But I like it. It's better than any other day. I love a nice day and the blue sky. So, call on Yahweh by Shem Shai by Shem Kakwadash. Giving all praises to Yahweh by Shem Shai by Shem Kakwadash. The great Ali Shaidah of Israel, the great I am, the possessor of heaven and earth, of the spirits of heaven and earth. Also giving praise and honor to his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, the Adonai, the Hamashiach, the light of this world, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, for those of them that don't know his name. My Redeemer, the one who died for Israel and rose to sit to become his father's beautiful right arm. My Redeemer, my Comforter, and my salvation, and the only one that pleaded his blood over Israel, the only nation granted for salvation. And shout out the great millstone, the beautiful masters, you know what I'm saying, that the angels that God put here on this world to be his voice and to guide me and put me in the right place. And whenever I feel lost, I can always go to them. They are Yahweh's voice, and whenever you feel lost, you can always go to them. You can hear from them, or you can read the Bible. But most importantly, you need right teachers and the right elders to guide you. So shout out the great millstone on that, man. Shout out, man. Shout out to the Akim, the beautiful men that's in his word. You may not be from a camp. You may not be from Great Millstone. You still follow. You still listen to them. You go out to the highways and byways to the best of your abilities. You study on your own. Shout out to those beautiful brothers that are doing that. Shout out to the beautiful sisters, the Akwa, the beautiful women that's in the word. And whether you got a man or not, you still fear the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You listen and you learn in silence. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with allowing the men of Israel to be the head. There's nothing wrong with a man being in your life. If you do have one, you got the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Let him lead you. And amen to you beautiful sisters, because it's not too many of y'all that's doing that. Should make me want a sister like that. They hard to find. Coming back to you with another episode. Through the power and through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, in the name Yahushai. This episode is about freedom. Put it on my spirit to talk about that. And lately, you ever felt like you've been in a certain situation or in a certain position, or you actually came to a realization knowing that everything around you is bad? For those of us that have to put on power, have to gain power, have to gain value in this world, and we start from zero, we start from nothing, it's actually a really bad hardship. And people around you may not have their that same perspective you do, and it can be really bad. Sometimes having the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, it reminds me of that story when the daughters had the candles and they had the extra oil, and the other women didn't have the extra oil. So when they went to go meet the king, and the wind and the darkness was blowing, they had that extra oil to survive. It wasn't too many of them women that had it, and the majority of the women that didn't have it, they couldn't go meet the king. They had to go back to go get oil. I mean, the prince, they had to go back to get oil. And end quote, I'm talking about the women that had that extra oil. It wasn't too many of them. So, in that story, that's how the prophets of Great Millstone feel. That's how those of us that follow him feel. We feel the same way. Like, it's not too many of us that got that truth. It's not too many of us that got that oil. It's not a lot of us that Yahweh had organized to be this way. So when you realize that, you realize how much of an evil-ass world you're living in. Even your people can be, they don't have to be of an evil mind, but they lives are wicked. They can be wicked, even though this is how they are and they don't really mean it towards you. It's still wickedness, and you could be caught in it, or you could be seeing it, or you're living with it, and sometimes you just wish you was just free from all of this. And it takes a lot to get free. The truth shall set you free, most importantly, but overall, you just wish you was just free from all of this, and this nightmare would come to an end. You get tired of being broke all the time. You get tired of people playing with your money. You You get tired of wondering why you starting from zero. Like zero as in life. You start off as, most of us, the majority of us do start off as losers. We don't fare very well. We have to gain our way. Women don't come on a drop of a dime like you want them to. That's a big one. Your friends, they come and go like wind, especially if you're not the type, or you're the type of person that grow out of friendship. That can be very unstable if you don't have friends like that. That can be unstable, even though that's not a big of a deal. But for those of them that do, have friends and you got family, they come and go like wind. There's not always people to be there. And if you want that established, you got to establish that in your own way. And for the women part, it's very difficult for them too. And they'll come whenever they want to. It's not to where we got it to where they have to come, or if we choose them, they come. And in order for you to get it that way, you got to be in peak condition. You get tired of people ruling over you. You got people that you don't even know exist, and they rule over you, and they control you, and they control your money, all the way down to your jobs, all the way to your livelihood, until you can finally break this hardship, break this cycle. It's only so few people that could break the cycle, and they don't even have the truth, and they not even right in their mind, but they had enough strength to change their lifestyle and to stop having people over them to control them. And that's very few people. But those people that I've seen personally, they don't have the spirit of Yahweh over them. They just had the strength to change their life and breaking that poverty cycle and entering that next state. And sometimes it's at a cost. Sometimes they realize that what they done without the spirit, it was for nothing. And great power come with a great responsibility. So they never truly free from the situation, or from that cycle. Sometimes it can appear like they broke the cycle and they moved up to the next level, but it still came at a steep price. It wasn't easy. So you see people like that. You see this evil world. People taking what they want. People killing to get what they want. People destroying and hurting everything around them. People that would rather take the shortcut and get whatever they desire, because they realize that certain people that live their lives, and from the majority of us that live our lives, we quite poor. We don't fare too very well, and if we are making it, or we desire to make it, we got to break those boundaries in order to do it. So with that freedom, I got a story real quick. It's gonna be short because I'm gonna skip from different parts. I'm gonna try and skip from different parts. I'm usually stuck in that, And Yahweh Shem Yahushai is looking down from his holy throne, and he is watching. In the name of Yahushai, those of us that desire that specific freedom, we do desire the world to change. We want the world to end, and it's for the better, because this world is not made for us. Everything is against you. Everything is against you. I'm talking about everything. This world is so negative. It's so dark. It can be so bad. And sometimes things aren't as seen. Things aren't as they seem. Sometimes people turn on you. Sometimes you may not get what you want, even though you're so close to getting it. And it can either be because of your environment that's around you, or your capabilities, or just people. And just living in an evil world, you desire the freedom, or you set your mind on that type of freedom to break free from all that oppress you, all that is on top of you, all that is surrounding you. And it's just a constant reminder from Yahweh that we do live in this wicked world, and that those few women with that precious oil was the ones who had the extra knowledge, and they had the light to get to the darkness. And that, that really touched me right there. And, my desire right now is to be a leader, to be a man, and to govern over my own life. And the only rules that I follow is Yahweh Shem Yahushai's rules, and nobody else's, and to not have people oppressed, because it's different people that have power. And certain people, they don't even need power. Sorry to give a long introduction, but this was powerful. You don't have to bring this out. Certain people don't even need power, yet they have some sort of a fragment of power, and they rule over you. They allow you to do what you want to do to a certain degree, and and sometimes, you know, they do whatever they want to do, and they could care less about how you feel. Even if you feel like you're in a position to control, or you're making some sort of money, or you the strongest point in your group, they still wouldn't listen to you because they got that power and they feel like they can do anything that they want. And it's just not right. But you know, like Yahweh says, certain things you need to be lightweight in the truth, and cut certain things off in order for you to live and have a better, happier life. So, you know, with that, I'm gonna read some of I think I'm gonna read some of Genesis. So I'm gonna read it. Sorry, y'all. I'm kind of feeling under the weather. I done ate some good food, and it was undercooked, and it wasn't good for my stomach, but it was so good. I scarfed it down, and it was halfway cooked, and I threw up a whole bunch of food poisoning, dog. But and to think that me exercising actually pushed all of that poison out of my body. That's crazy, huh? So, you know, I need to find a better diet. My exercising is on point. I just need to find a better diet and a better way of eating, safer way of eating, even if I got to cook it myself eventually with my hard-head self, and I will be better. And that's the sign that Yahweh is telling me. You know, the Holy Father is telling me, you just got to eat better. You know, you got your little exercise on point. You're still training. You're still becoming stronger. You just got to eat better, and you wouldn't be getting sick, you know. And it's only a temporary sickness. It's not like I'm catching colds and all of that. You know, Yahweh puts you through challenges, you know, but sometimes the more you graduate through these challenges, the lighter they can become. They can become very light. Sometimes the simpler things need to be changed in order for your life to be better. And you got to look at pinpoints like that. Whatever Yahweh wants you to look at, whatever Yahweh wants you to sacrifice, do that. It could be for the better in your life for you to do that. So we can go and look into some of the Bible scriptures. Sorry, I got a bottle of water. I got the Bibles in my hand. I'm about to drink some of this water real quick. It's not even the heat. It's the poison that's getting to me, and I got to get it out. So like another example, I be wanting to enjoy my beautiful day, but no. I be wanting to get out and live in a little adventure and all of that every now and then, but I can't. Sometimes I just work out, I go to sleep, I wake up, listen to some Bible scriptures every now and then, I play my little game, I work on my artwork, I pass back out, wake up, the day is over with, I done spent the day inside the house. There's nothing wrong with it, it's actually a good thing, but, you know, we all desire to get out every now and then and go out and go live and see, not see the world necessarily, but, you know, enjoy your day. But I'm going to go to this scripture real quick and get into it. But yeah, freedom is the thing. Freedom, to be free. And the truth shall set you free, most importantly. All right, hang on. And it says, oh, my water. We in Exodus. I just wanted to read this. Exodus chapter 2, verse 11. And it says, now it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown, that he went out to his brethren and looked at their burdens, and he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew one of his brethren. So he looked this way and that way, and when he saw no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And this is actually, that's true. He did kill the Egyptian. Yeah, he did. And and that's also a sign of, oppression, getting rid of oppression. So it says, and when he went out the second day, behold, 2 Hebrew men were fighting, and he said to one another, who did the wrong? And why are you striking your companion? Then he said, who made you prince and judge over us? Do you intend to kill me as you killed the Egyptian? So Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. When Pharaoh heard of this matter, he sought to kill Moses, but Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water. And that 7 mean completion. And it's in a weird way he's meant, like he sat on the will of the Father, it sat on him, so he doing what he meant to do. Ooh. And they filled troughs to water to fill their flock. Then the shepherd came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. When they came to Reuel, their father, he said, how is it that you have come so soon today? And they said, an Egyptian delivered us from the hand of the shepherds. I think I read it wrong. It says, then the shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. When they came to Reuel, their father, he said, how is it that you have come so soon today? And they said, an Egyptian delivered us from the hand of the shepherds, and he also drew enough water for us and watered the flock. So he said to his daughters, and one thing that Moses didn't like was oppression. So any sign or anything that he saw that happened to do with the oppression, he wanted to fight it. And where is he? Why is it that you have left the man? Call him that he may eat bread. Then Moses was content to live with that man, and he gave Zipporah his daughter to Moses. So they got together, and he got the authority from his father to have this woman as a wife. And she bore him a son. He called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a foreign land. So they took him in, and he lived with them many years. And then he didn't get married, because it doesn't say that. Women back in those days didn't get married. There is no such thing as marriage. Like getting married and spending thousands of dollars, that's inaccurate. The real marriage is union and sex. One partner joined another, they married. Like it's this one passage in the Bible that say they were eating and drinking and getting married and being given to marriage, and they knew it not until the flood came and took them away. So it's talking about sex, and that is the real, that shit nasty. That is the real union between a man and a woman. It shouldn't cost thousands of dollars or a ring to get married. That's inaccurate. But that's another reason why it's causing such a balance between our brothers and sisters, is because the women feel like they can remarry. But according to the Bible, when you marry a man, oh wow, they big. When you marry a man, you are with him for the rest of your life. And this man, he can keep you, and he can go and marry, mean join in sex, and that's the real marriage. When you join in sex, you guys are married. That's how it go. And when that man is able to go and marry other women, and a man shall have many wives. So back in those days during the custom, that was so. And this woman would be with the man forever unless the man was at his deathbed and he relinquished her to be remarried. Because sometimes most of the time in the ancient world, in these cases, 12 years old was the time when a man or a woman was grown. They was at the adult stage, and they was ready to, live and go get jobs and have families and all that at 12. The custom nowadays is 18, to where you have to live and be already pre-grown, and then when you turn 18, you can go and have a family, a girlfriend, you can go get married and do all that, when actually you being an adult actually starts at the age of 12 and going all the way up. So women back in those days would get married at 12 years old, and they would go and marry a man that's like, 25, 23, and that's a custom. That's another custom that is, they consider it as child molestation or rape. And rape means to be taken by force. It has nothing to do with sexual assault. So you got to know your words. But at the end of the day, that was the original custom for women to get married at that age. So when Moses had her, 9 times out of 10, he had her when she was 12 years old. And she was already grown. She was already a woman, but he was a little bit older, but he knew what to do. He most likely had a job with this man, and he was working with the man, and he had the daughter, and they had a son, and he was able to take care of the household. Or if he was still living with the man that took him in and gave him the daughter, he was able to take care of them and pay rent. And, he did his job for the time being. But his purpose was much more in the story. But I just wanted to square that away, because there's so much of an imbalance out at that. And it's real bad, because a lot of men, they still stick to that law in a weird kind of way. They just don't go at 12 years old. No, they don't. But it's a lot of men that do seek women that's, 18, 19, 20, and going all the way up, because those women are still pure, per se. They still innocent to the world. And these women, they don't know much. And sorry to dive deeper into this, but it's lessons within lessons. But overall, a man that's already at the apex of his life, that got money, that got cars, that got a nice home, they wouldn't necessarily go for a woman that's 28, 29, and they going in their 30s, because by that time, this world is so wicked, they already done corrupted them. So they already got kids. They probably got a man or 2 or 3. And they are too old in the mind. It's a thing that the pimps call mileage. But let me get back on track with the story. I just wanted to pinpoint that out. And the whole point of that was the marriage part is a union. The real marriage is a union. So when you lay with a woman and a woman lays with you, this woman know, as soon as I lay with this man, I'm going to be with him for the rest of my life. So that is the real marriage, and y'all connected together in marriage forever and ever. And that is the real marriage. Marriage don't cost $20,000 with your whole family there, and some wicked pastor there, and all the food and all the drinks and all of a massive celebration, and it don't cost you damn near $29,000 plus $6,000 for a ring from Jared, just to get married to this woman. If so, you put the ring on your finger and y'all start doing it right then and there in front of everybody, because that's the real marriage, is the sex union. But, to each his own. For people who don't know that, they don't know that. And for those of us that do know that, we know the truth, and we do desire a world where the rules are reestablished and everything is put back into order. And we wait on Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and when the time comes, he will change the world and will be better. But let me get back on that. It's just, you know, I'm having personal issues, so I'm trying to avoid those personal issues and get to my point. So it says, now it happened in the process at the time of the king died, then the children of Israel groaned because of bondage, and they cried out, and their cry came up to Yahweh because of the bondage. So that right there is my point. You know, we desire freedom. Yeah, we desire the true freedom, and the true freedom that is rightfully ours, and the true freedom that us men deserve. Instead of going through all this work and going through all this hardship, and we doing it because we done turned our backs on Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Yes, of course, we have done bad things that we are deserving of punishment for. But overall, like the Lord said, why would you go and seek it from others then when I can give it to you personally? And that is where we messed up at. That is where we doing wrong at, where the real freedom comes from Yahweh Shem Yahushai, not from what other people can give us, and not from these things that we are worshiping. Because the main reason why we in bondage right now and why we're on punishment time pretty much is because we worship the things that we created, you know? And that make Yahweh real jealous. And Yahweh being the Heavenly Father as it is, he's in his right. So how can you be mad at the Heavenly Father when he is in his right to be that way? He gave us the ground rules, he told us how it was, and that's just how it is. And when we get out of line, we are meant to be punished. And we, his kids, after all, so we are meant to be punished. And that motor loud. I'm trying to stay in the shade. Yeah, I don't feel like talking right now, buddy. You a Christian, right?
You got the Bible. They say he don't, yeah, I'm a Christian. I'm baptized.
No, I don't even want to talk.
The Bible. They say you don't talk, kill him.
Don't come disrespect me because I don't want to talk. Then what do you want to say? If you got something to say, then say it. If you're a Christian, I don't want to talk to you. I'm not in the wrong. Right. I do have a right to do that, right? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I don't have to talk to no Christian if I don't want to. And it says, so Yahweh heard their groaning, and Yahweh remembered his covenant with Abraham and with Isaac and with Jacob. And Yahweh looked upon the children of Israel, and Yahweh acknowledged them. Now Moses was tending to the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the back of the desert and came to Horeb, the mountain of Yahweh. And the angel of Yahweh appeared to him in a flame of fire from the midst of the bush. So he looked, and behold, the bush was burnt with fire, but the brush was not consumed. I don't know. I don't think I was in the wrong for saying that, but most prophets, when they engage, they don't really bother the Christians. They just let them be as they own, and they don't want to talk like that. So, you know, next time I won't ignore somebody for trying to get a chance at it, but, you know, usually I'm always disrespected and I'm always getting into arguments. So, but, you know, that's a part of the Bible, so neither here nor there. But yeah, I wasn't in the wrong to reject him. I didn't have to talk to him if he was a Christian pastor or what, because I already know what to expect of them. But, you know, to each his own. It's a learning lesson. Like Yahweh say, at least give him a chance to speak. That's what's going on in my spirit. Give him a chance to speak, let him speak. and then try to convince them. But if they don't want to be convinced, then that's just what it is. But, sometimes I don't know. I just seen Apostle Dahar, and he be rebuking the hell out of them Christians. So I just did the same. But I could have let him get a couple of words in before I crushed his little beliefs. Especially the old people. They won't break for nothing, Like Yahweh say, why would you put the new wine in old wineskins? Why would you put new wine in old wineskins? Lest they burst. It says, but put new wine in new wineskins, and that can hold it. And that's the people that Yahweh say, the ones that don't know nothing. The ones that don't know nothing, they are like a clean bottle where you could put the new knowledge in. And the ones that are old, they usually really don't get it, and they would take the wineskins would pop because they got holes in it, and the new knowledge would go right out of the bag. So, when I see elders like that, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was a pastor or a churchgoer, I don't have time for them. I'm really strict on that. But, like Yahweh say, just give him a chance. In my mind, he is telling me that in the spirit. Just give him a chance and then crush him. Let them hear them out, and then try to convince them. If they don't want to be convinced, then that's just what it is. But I am very strict on that, because they go from trying to understand your point to giving their point, and when you don't get their point, they try to disrespect you. So, I'll be trying to cut that crap out. But it is a spiritual warfare. It is a spiritual battle. So, at least give them a fighting chance before you overpower them. So that's a lesson learned from the Most High. At least give them a chance and then break them. Because regardless, I'm going to break you, But overall, I really don't like the Christians, because they want to come and they want to convince you, and then they want to invite you to their church, and then they want it to be a one-sided battle when it was your argument to begin with. So I'm supposed to have control over the argument, but I don't, because they come with a one-sided battle. Either you join Christians, or or you godless, or you a heretic or some sort, when they actually the ones that are the heretics. They blind. They're the congregation of the dead. So when I see them, I barely go easy on them. You see how quick I was to dismiss him, even though I kind of felt bad about doing it. But, it was in my spirit to do so. Like, get out of here. If you're a Christian, then I don't even want to talk to you. All right, man. But, to each his own, like Yahweh said, let them hear you out and then break them. So I'll do that. But, with all that is, I'll take it for a mistake that I made, and I'll keep going. But yeah, it says, so he looked, and behold, the bush was burning with fire, but the bush was not consumed. Then Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush does not burn. So when Yahweh saw that he turned aside to look, Yahweh called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, here I am. Then he said, do not draw near this place. Take your sandals off your feet, for the place where you stand is holy ground. It says, moreover, he said, I am Yahweh. I exist, I am. It says, of your father, the God, I am everything, because that's what Yahweh means. And I am in Hebrew means I am everything. It says, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Yahweh, because he was coming from an angel through the fire on a flaming bush that didn't need a light to be lit. But this was the way that Yahweh was planning to acknowledge the cries of the children of Israel. God heard us in our suffering, and we the same people that was there in the past. We was the same people that is there, that is here today, and we in a repeat of our bondage. And Yahweh is hearing our cries. For those of us that know the secret, for those of us that know the truth, the Lord is hearing our cries and hearing our pain, and he's acknowledging us, he's acknowledging our suffering, and things are actually happening, and things are actually being set in motion. Prophecies are being performed. Things are actually slowly but surely accelerating. These bigger events are happening. And those of us that are alive, Yahweh willing, for those of us that cried, and Yahweh gives us that access of extended life, that we are able to see the rest of these miracles be performed and live to the end of days and to be delivered. That's the goal, to be delivered, you know? So with that, the Most High did hear our cries, you know, and the Lord is acknowledging it. That's why this place is headed towards a downfall. That's why certain things are happening. And but overall, it's a lot of our people are not calling to him. So this time it's, but like Yahweh say, for Yahweh so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that through him that they might be saved. So he's not calling everybody. It's a specific world of people that Yahweh is calling. That, ow, that stuck me in my ear. Oh my goodness. Ow. Horrible. How you doing? How you doing? Oh no, I'm doing my church thing. I'm sorry. I thought she was gonna ask me about the Bible. That was strange. Women nowadays, women, corrupt women too. But yeah, I stabbed myself in the ear with my own earring, and yeah, that's why. But the Lord said, I didn't pray for everybody, and like Yahweh say, pray not for the world. You know, stop worrying about those of them that don't believe. Don't worry about those of them that are corrupted. If they gonna be like that, let them be like that. But they will be proven wrong down the long run, or they just gonna be cut off. Because Yahweh, sometimes he get tired of these wicked people, and he get tired of having mercy on these wicked people, and he cuts them off. Sometimes it might be in their will to have a change of heart and finally change, like those of us that's trying to come out of that's coming out of our wickedness. Yeah, that can work too. But overall, you know, the Most High say, let them be as they are. You know, because like you can't change a lion. You can't change them, you know, unless Yahweh wants to change their mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, change them and stop them from eating this gazelle. Other than that, you ain't gonna stop this lion. You're not. You know, you can't stop a bird from being a bird. So, you know, with these, if you can't stop the wicked from being the wicked unless Yahweh allows it, and that's deep too, because the Most High would allow them to be wicked, and no matter how much, this is crazy, no matter how much you try to change them, no matter how much you try to stop them, you can never change them unless Yahweh allows them to be changed. And that is powerful. It shows that you have no control. You don't have no control. You got control to a degree, but you don't have no control over these people's lives, over the way they think, and over how they feel. You know, so like the Lord say, let them be as they are. You know, and the Most High do compare the enemy as a mindless beast, and those of them that follow him, which is our people, they have become mindless beasts. So, you know, they don't believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. They believe in whatever they oppress or believe in, whatever these people believe in, and so they've become like them. So, you know, ain't no changing the dog mind. If the dog want to take a dump right then and there on the spot, he will. So that is another comparison to our people. They will, you know, so ain't no changing them unless Yahweh wants to change them. That's like trying to change a drug addict, and he at the peak of his drug use, and you trying to give him the word, you trying to get him to change, you trying to get him to understand, but he just won't change. That's because that's proof that Yahweh shows that only I can change them. Now, if the Most High wanted that person to change that's off the drug use, he would change. He would, yes. And that is and make him a miracle, you know? So I was the same way too. I used to smoke all kind of weed. I used to do all kind of stuff. But, you know, one day the Most High came and put it in my mind to change, and I changed. And I finally changed and did it for the better, and I'm done with it permanently, and I'm not going back, you know? So that's one of the miracles of Yahweh. Sometimes he can make you into a living miracle. He can make you into an example of what he wants those lost children to be. And if they don't want to be that, then they could kick rocks. You could continue living your life until one day God cuts you off, or you might meet your doom in the following years, or you might be here when the nuclear bombs go off. So, you know, I'm about to get to my point though too. a nice day. I love today. It says, and Yahweh said, I have surely seen the people of my people who are in Egypt. And he heard their cry because of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. That's right. So every day you suffer, every time you think about, damn, I can't get this money to take care of my car. Damn, I'm having a hard time getting rent. Man, I can't feed my babies. You know, I'm having problems with my woman. I'm having inside problems. I'm trying to fight these demons off, these addictions off. The Most High know your sorrows. He know how you feel. He knows your pain. So, like the Lord say, and one of the passages, you say, when you pray, come to your prayer closet and make it short and simple. Sometimes it's not good to ask for stuff because the Most High know what you need, and He's going to provide you with it. The Most High know your problems. He know what's going on in your heart. So, you know, sometimes it's not good to ask for everything because God know what you ask for before you ask for it. So, but overall, the Most High know what us men need, and He know what we desire every day, and He knows just how hard it is to be a man without those perks that the Lord had gave us so long ago. It's hard to live in an oppressed environment and in an oppressed world, to see your enemies get the better of you, for them to be better you, for them to be above you, for you to always suffer and they have an enjoyment out of your suffering, you know, to have a certain extent to where you're doing the best that you can. And this is sometimes in a person's life, that's all they can do, is the best that they can. And when they reach their limit, that's it. You know, there's nothing more that you can do. Or you having people rule over you that don't even deserve power. But at the end of the day, this is what it is. And the Lord understands, and He knows how some of us feel and how we trying our best to change, how we trying our best to try and refrain from being in the world and to struggle and to earn and to become stronger. So, you know, the Most High, He know what we want, and He gives it to us in due time. And main thing with all we want that are coming back to being a child of Yahweh, to be an Israelite, is this change, is freedom. We tired of being oppressed, and we tired of being under the rule of our enemies. We tired of our enemies getting what they want and having it better, even though they necessarily ain't really got what they want. You know, they like the people that feel like they got where they need to be, but our enemies are still paying that ultimate price. They still got to pay that ultimate price. So they are severely not scot-free. They really have to pay their price in due time. And it's bad. It's so bad to the point to where in these times to come, you don't want to be around them. You don't want to be with them. And you'll be happy that you are Israelite and that you were born a child of Yahweh, rather than seeing the consequences of not being the Most High's chosen people and seeing what befall the rest of these nations and our enemy. You know, so it's bad. You know, they got a terrible price to pay. Ugh. Who would want to pay that price? I guess all that money and all that stuff and all that wickedness you did in exchange for materialism, they feel like it was worth it, but it really wasn't. There's a horrible price to pay for the things that our enemies have done. Very bad, and I'm glad I'm not them. So, you know, for real. So don't make it seem like they're not. Their times are coming to where they got to pay, and it's gonna be bad. So, and it says, so I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of Egyptians. Same as it was back then, it's the same. That slow bucket, and they would do that to that nasty car. Okay, same as it was in the past, we here now. So a lot of people is like, okay, these people starting to look like the Israelites, because the same thing that happened in the past is the same thing that happened now. And, you know, they be like, oh, what if they practice the same practices and put them in the same thing that they were in now? Because a lot of our oppressor, they get their ideas from different empires. But for some reason, their main favorite one was the Egypt one, where our people are getting paid little to nothing at all, and we're suffering, and we under great oppression, and we getting beat, and we getting hurt, and we getting killed. And this is all day, every day. All day, every day. It might have lightened up a little bit, but it ain't changed, you know? So it's the same thing now. So still, like, it's still hard. Like, okay, what if they just took their practices? That it doesn't matter. That's the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So if they did this, you know who these people are. You know where they came from. And then that's another question. If you don't know, then why would you do that wicked practice upon them? Now you're starting to, it's either way it go. These people look like the Israelites. We are the Israelites. But I'm just saying, from another person's point of view that don't know this knowledge and is looking at these people, you know, and how bad they suffering and all the hell that they going through, they looking like, okay, so this right here is looking like Egypt. You know, they look like the slaves. So, you know, so it's like, okay, are these people the children of Israel? Why would you do these practices on these people and you don't know what they are and you don't even know what you're doing? Oh, they know who they are. They know what they're doing. So with that being said, you know, we are the children of Israel, but from a person with an optimistic point of view, or they don't know nothing, they looking at that too, like, what in the world? Like, that dude look kind of strange, you know what I'm saying? Like these people wouldn't make these accusations for no reason, because to call yourself an Israelite is a serious accusation. But it's who calling themselves an Israelite. That's a serious accusation. You know, so in our instance, the people that's in Israel right now, that is a serious accusation for them. But for us, it shouldn't be, because we match their description. So with that, you know, that right there is very important. It says, "Come now, therefore, and I will send you to Pharaoh, that you may bring my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt." It says, "But Moses said to Yahweh, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh, and that I should bring the children of Israel out of Egypt? So he said, I will certainly be with you, and all this shall be a sign to you that I have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you shall serve Yahweh this mountain." Then Moses said to Yahweh, "Indeed, when I come to the children of Israel, say to them that the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they say to me, what is his name? What shall I say to them?" And Yahweh said to Moses, "I am who I am," meaning that I am everything. I am your salvation. I'm everything. It says, "I am Yahweh." And he says, "Thus you shall say to them, children of Israel, Yahweh has sent me to you." It says, "Moreover, Yahweh said to Moses, thus you shall say to them, the children of Israel, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, have sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial to all generations. Go and gather the elders of Israel, and say to them, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, appeared to me, saying, I have surely visited you and seen what is done to you in Egypt." Right, so a lot of people don't think that Yahweh is watching now. He was watching back then, he's watching now. So it's the same thing back then as it is now, you know? So it's like, you know, these people are acting like Yahweh is not watching, and they don't really look at their environment. They don't really look at the things around them. They don't really understand what the Most High is doing and what creation is all about. He created all of these things to remind you that he is always watching. You know, if this place was man-made, it'd be a giant roof over this place. You know, and so, you know, and then metaphorically speaking, like Yahweh can't see, and he still could see, because the powers would be whether you believe in them or not. Yahweh is going to be there whether you believe in them or not. It's never going to change. This is always how it's always been. This is how it's going to be. It's never, ever going to change. The Most High say, I change not. Everything as you've seen it, when the new world comes, the only thing that's going to change is the Israelites not being oppressed in a better environment. But the world is still going to be here. The cosmos is still going to be here. The sun is still going to be here. The moon's still going to be here. The animals will come back. The grass and everything is going to bloom again. It's not going to change. It's going to change to a limit, but the world is still going to be here. You know, so the powers are still going to be, and it's never going to change. So, you know, the Most High is always relevant, even though people don't think that he's over them. Oh, he's over them. What kind of moron wouldn't know that God exists? Even the oppressors, they know that there's a God. They know that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is real and that he exists. They know. But the rest of our people, they so blind they don't know. It says, Jacob appeared to me, saying, I have surely visited you and seen what is done to you in Egypt, and I have said I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt. to the land of the Canaanites, and to the Hittites and Amorites and the Perizzites and the Havites and the Jebusites, to a land flowing with milk and honey. It says, then they will heed your voice, and you shall come, you and the elders of Israel, the king of Egypt, and you shall say to them, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the God of the Hebrews, has met with us, and now please let us go 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to Yahweh Shem Yahushai our God. But I am here. I'm sure that the king of Egypt will not let you go. That's true. That's what's happening now. Not even by a mighty hand. So I will stretch out my hand and strike Egypt with all my wonders, which I will do in its midst. And after that he will let you go. And I will give this people a favor in the sight of the Egyptians. And it shall be when you go that you shall not be empty-handed. But every woman shall ask of her neighbor, namely of her who dwells in her house, articles of silver, articles of gold, and clothing, and you shall put them on your sons and on your daughters. So you shall plunder the Egyptians. That's what's going to happen. Everything that these people got, one day when the time comes and everything happens, a lot of stuff is going to return to our possession. But here's the twist to now. Back then, none of it will matter, because none of it will be worth anything. The only thing that's going to matter in these times now is the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And the Bible is a brick of gold in the eyes of those of us that believe. And we know that for those of us that are blessed to live during those times and survive those times, we're going to need that. And instead of people wanting wanting silver and gold and want all of these other materialistic things that will not help them live, they would want the word of the Lord. Our people are going to finally seek it, but they're not going to find it. And those people are the ones that are not going to be, they're going to be identified as the ones that are cut off. And a judgment will be terrible. And we don't have to give them the word no more, because nobody came and they listened. It's funny, because when that man would have came and talked to me, would have exchanged words, he would have heard something that he didn't like, and he would have tried to disrespect me off the bat. Or even try to change my narrative or to change my mind. That's because he don't want to change. He wants me to change. Or he would consider me as some sort of non-believer or something like that, because he doesn't believe. Or he would listen and heed it and then forget about it. That's how they are, So, let them believe what they want, and in time they're going to get cut off. So it says, then Moses answered and said, but suppose they will not believe me or listen to my voice. Suppose they say, Yahweh has not appeared to you. So Yahweh said to him, what is that you're in your hand? He said, a rod. And he said, cast it on the ground. So he cast it on the ground, and it became a serpent, and Moses fled from it. Then Yahweh said, reach out your hand and take it by the tail. And he reached out his hand and caught it, and it became a rod in his hand, that they may believe that Yahweh Shem Yahushai of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. And the Most High gave him spiritual power to make them believe. That's another precursor that's going to happen. A lot of people that believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, if they're deemed worthy, they're going to get spiritual power. Yep. It says, has appeared to you. Furthermore, Yahweh said to him, now put your hand in your bosom. And he put his hand in his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous like snow. So leprosy is the white color is actually a leprous disease. And a lot of people don't like to get into this, but this is true, because Moses was a dark-skinned man. So for him to missing his pigmentation is very terrible. He didn't put his hand into his bosom and been like, oh, I'm white, oh, that's awesome. No, it was actually a very bad thing to be that color back in those days. So why would Yahweh put this here? And why would the people that oppressed us leave that in there if they didn't want us to know who we were? And everything took place in Africa. So all these characters are dark-skinned. The only ones that are not dark-skinned are Esau in the story and the Edomites. And then in the future, they all white out and they all change because of certain things that we've done. But, yeah. And he said, put your hand in your bosom again. So he put his hand in his bosom again and drew it out of his bosom. And behold, it was restored like his other flesh. So it's saying that Moses was dark-skinned, and the curse was him being white. That was a horrible curse. And he scared him like, oh. It says, then it will be, if they do not believe in you nor heed the message of the first sign, that they may believe the message of the latter sign. And it shall be, if they do not believe in even those two signs, or listen to your voice, you shall take water from the river and pour it out on the dry land. The water which you take from the river will become blood on the dry land. Then Moses said to Yahweh, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither before nor since you have spoken to your servant, but I am slow of speech and slow of tongue. And the Most High got mad because he had didn't want to do it. He kept coming up with excuses. And sometimes the people that believe in Yahweh are at their lowest. Sometimes them the ones that the Most High won't. So you may think that the Israelites are losers when they actually the ones that Yahweh chose to give the spiritual power to and to save, you know. So he couldn't believe it. Like, I can't believe Yahweh's coming to me with this great task and giving me all this power, and I still don't believe it, and I still don't want to do it, and I'm scared, and I'm, you know, and the Most High had to shake him out of that fear. So it says, so Yahweh said to him, who has made the man mute? It says, who has made man's mouth? Or who makes the mute, the deaf, the seeing, or the blind? Have I not, I, the Lord? It says, now therefore go, and I will be with your mouth, and teach you what you shall say. But he said, oh my Lord, please send by the hand of whomever else you may send. So the anger of Yahweh was kindled against Moses. And he said, is not Aaron the Levite your brother? I know that he can speak well. And look, he is also coming to meet you. So the Most High, he see everything. God see everything. And it says, when he sees you, he will be glad in his heart. Now you shall speak to him and put the words in his mouth, and I will be with your mouth and with his mouth, and I will teach you what you shall do. So he shall be your spokesman to the people, and he himself shall be a mouth for you, and you shall be to him as God. As simple as that. So that one was real powerful too. He had to remind him. It was not a necessarily remind, but it had to remind us who we were, you know. So some of us are, and these times to come, some of us is going to get spiritual powers, and we will be like Yahweh on the earth, you know, in the name of Yahweh Shai. And we will be blessed, and the people will follow us because we have the power of Yahweh over us. And, you know, we've been marked, and soon when people are starting to catch on, whenever they do, they gon' realize that you was marked. They're gonna realize that something strange going down. But most importantly, the Most High is the freedom that we crave is there. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want. We want to end to all this rule. We want everything to go back to the laws of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. We want to be back on top. We want the world. We want the fortune. We want everything that comes with the world. And we ready for the world to end. And all of these things and all these scary times that are coming is no surprise to us. And some of us wish it would be faster, but this is what it is. The Lord wants to get his point across, so that is what it shall be, you know. And overall, the freedom that we desire has not gone unheard. And one day we will be powers again, and one day we'll be on top of everything, and we won't have to do the things that we do to make it in this life. So that is better, and that is perfect. And with that, calling Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, in the name of Yahweh Shai. And 2 points. We learning about the evil, which is the oppression and the darkness of this world. And then the other side is we learning how to be gods once again on the earth and then in the next life. So with that, shalom, because my hour is up.